Attention gamers. I've played one game this year. It was on a challenger account that I as a silver hardstuck player clearly hand leveled and ranked legitimately so that I could prove that games at all ranks are total coin flips by popping off as a silver player undercover, but outside of that I haven't touched this toxic piss pit of a game all year as I've been playing WoW. But the other day I was met with a decision and I could almost see both paths. But I had a league sponsor, aka time to get the bag, so I chose to succumb to the madness and queue up for my first ranked game in almost 60 days. This meant going in cold, having no clue what the meta was, so I would just blindly listen to a helper app that informed me that Riot has not fixed how unfun Mel is to play against. Then as my team picked, I listened to the recommended synergies by selecting the F of M, who was my main anyways last year, and then I imported runes that are apparently the best for my specific matchup into my client. During load and screen, instead of read facts about rats, I got the full-blown scouting report which showed me who to look out for with tips like, hey, this ADC is still warming up after having not touched this game in a short eternity. I then kept all my overlays active to see how I measured up against plat players after not playing the game in months, as well as active build paths so I could turn my brain off and always do what's best. Of course there were things out of my control.
I hate this team!
And I won't spoil how the game went, but I will say afterwards I had cutting-edge data-driven game reports to show me what I need to improve upon should I choose to actually keep playing this game, and all of this is completely free, so check out Professor below and thank them for getting me to make another league video. But then it was time for me to do my prelims 2 months after the season launched. Alright, so according to my League of Legends news source aka Twitter uncle, Riot made a bunch of queue optimizations so people don't get autofilled or something.
I only play Mouthtop. Could it be possible, fam?
But it's okay, because after waiting through a full champ select, someone dodged and 12 minutes later I was actually able to get into a game that I started queuing up for 20 minutes earlier. Game 1, I had one of these dickless sushi rolls as my support, who would probably say she wasn't on the same page as me when I would say we were reading 2 entirely different books, as I just wanted to poke and pull back, but she wanted to throw a cinder block on the gas pedal, which sure would probably have worked if I committed to the fight, but then again we both would have died to Tiki Hut Berry Bonds, who came in through the unwarded back door. Unfortunately, that blue troll got a taste of a bot lane who has never been known for his vision score, and let's just say the camping trip in the first game didn't feel nice for me. Anyways, I guess the fact that my jungler wanted no parts of the southern hemisphere on this particular rift meant that this backyard baseball douchebag could just take her camps rent free, and I wasn't gonna stand for it, so I did what any ADC of my rank would do naturally, engage blindly by myself and get caught. But this bought enough time for Bambi to show up and throw her bag of sleeping dust at the wall before I get bailed out by a statue of the KFC mascot. Long story short, this went well for us, but I still felt like absolute dog shit in my first game back, as certain things like dodging or experiencing some rust. To make matters worse, I saw Trundle Rav has no fundle setting up for a lane gank, and you would think me announcing in all chat that I literally see him would be enough for my negligent jungler, who previously acted like she had a restraining order from my lane to not just march in there advertising to the entire planet how oblivious she is. And I'm gonna be real with you in the comment section, the return to League was feeling like anger and ass at the same time. But then I found my New Year's strategy.
Milio with the last pick. Glad he got last pick.
You see, League is known for being too toxic, and I agree, but only in the sense of bashing your own teammates. I actually think it's not toxic enough when bashing the enemy team as a little tilt-evoking trash talk to ruin the weak-ass mental would now be the play against anyone who thinks crying in all chat is going to make them feel better. If you bitch in all chat to the team that is benefiting from the situation, you are just a sad sack of shit, and I was gonna make this Teemo know that. Things started turning around as the enemy was divided, losing to the fact that League players cannot put petty differences aside. I don't even know how well this Teemo was performing himself, but all I know is that every time he complained I was the first to defend his support and tell him he's a smelly queef of a kid, while making sure my main contribution in this game was to continuously rage bait him into wanting to stop trying. He was now either dead or not doing shit every fight while I was continuing with my new strategy, and it was working. We got more picks and jerked off the erected toothy wiener in river, to which we used to march right down their base and slap around their necks as #1-0 in the new season. Game 2, and guess the fuck what, I'm already auto-filled, and at first I'm thinking great, I made it 40 whole minutes on this game before being volunteered as tribute to do something I don't want to do, but then I learned that you get double LP for wins as auto-filled, and all of a sudden I was like, I'm not gonna lie, the only thing lower than my interest in playing this role right now was my skill set in it, but I figured if I could just run around flailing my useless ass harp long enough, then it would allow for Frisbee Felicia to have enough free range practice to walk away with a double kill, and so that is basically LCS level supporting if you ask me. I continued my strategy of trash talking the enemy team, as there should be more of that, as we were making their clown sport quite the frown. Eventually we had them pinned to the tower, and both boomerangs and weaponized sound cords were being flung at them any time they walked up, which was clearly tilting them.
OMFG! GG!
As we were slowly snowballing, I was continuing to rage bait this shaky wakey, which was starting to work.
Kid, shut the fuck up! I am 1v9!
He told me he was an 80% win rate smurf just passing through this elo, and to tab out and look him up, which is a weird ass thing to bluff on considering I have a second monitor and zero desire to actually play support, so I did just that, and oof, hard stuck 50% win rate 270 games this season, what a fucking loser, I thought to myself, but as I was checking, my own jungler started flaming me for being a bot. To make matters worse, our Quinn clearly did not want to win, and even though I got Sivir fed, she was like, bro, I'm not him, and all of a sudden our chances of winning were looking grim. I couldn't help on a whim. This support could only play useless hymns. I was about to go out on a limb and say the lights in this Quinn's head were dim, but my Sivir was flaming him, and this just felt like a classic prelim. Oh so grim, as my Sivir wanted to quit like a New Year's resolution in the gym. So I replied saying, why should we all drown when we can still swim? As she shifted her blame onto me from him, and our top laner left the scrim. And what was a free win, now had odds that were slim. Green eggs and ham bitches. But I stuck with it. We caught their ADC being a dumbass. My team got Elder while I was watching in black and white. We started winning fights in the ARAM strategy. The metal moron returned from his rage quit. Their tank had less support than the feature development of the replay system in this shit game. We got a second Elder and used it to deny the enemy team entry into my dead anus as we took them down, and with it I was 2-0 in the season. Game 3 I was back on a right clicker, and my Sona support did the run around like a moron strategy while her ADC gets free reign on these bitches, which in this elo was turning out to be a consistently effective strategy. They kept overstaying, which was odd considering I had a team that actually rotated, so we capitalized on some free investment income early in the game from their greediness, as we won 3 team fights back to back, all within our neck of the woods due to them forgetting about the overall objective of this game, but this is League after all.
FF hate team!
You have 12 vision! Hate yourself first!
You have 12 IQ!
We got first tower, and then I rotated mid, where I was reminded of the dopamine you can get from this game. There was a vote to surrender because 2 people on the internet couldn't get along with each other, big surprise, but I was popping off like a champagne cork and team fights were not even close at this point, so it's hilarious to me that they still wanted to quit, but in my mind it's fine because I could easily solo carry now that I was fed and knocked the rust off in my mechanics. Anyways, I decided to become the victim of a game of surprise you a dead bitch, but Shen wasn't able to finish it, so I told him he's a bag of humiliated shit in all chat. We won the game, and boom, we were 3-0 in prelims. Last game of the day, dare I say I was having fun, but I know from years of playing this shit that you never speak too soon or you'll get a megamind support who has the positional awareness of a Venezuelan president. I even got an early kill down here, but this is when I was reminded of the full extent of how much this community can make you stop playing the game, as literally within 4 minutes of the game my top was so mad at my jungler that he declared the game over, said he was done trying, literally had 1 CS while the rest of us had close to 40, as he told us to enjoy our life, and I just knew this game was ruined. I did what all the YouTube comments will proclaim as if they are prophets who know the secrets of life and mute it all because that in their fantasy land world apparently will just immediately put a stop to the fact that this dimwit is running it down and losing on purpose. But then I focused on business, capitalizing on the fact that Syndra's ball-gaggling ADC cousin decided to route her GPS through the danger zone, which promptly evolved her into a dead bitch, and then I decided to not really escort my frolicking fawn to kill numero dos until I grabbed my farm #old McDonald priorities, as I still was able to hook up with her after for another homicide. Before you know it, I was 5-0, I was the prize, and I positioned like I knew that, making sure my contributions to fights were only from the safety behind walls and shit, as for a second I thought that top lane Tentacle Tina had put her differences aside and wanted to win again. That said, the damage was pretty done, as we practically had to deploy the full force of the United States military to take down this Scion, who was a beneficiary in the will of our top laner who died 12 fucking times, so I can only assume the trust fund money was only fans girl levels of bullshit, and we were feeling it. I was 6-0 with fantastic farm for this rank, but their Trinity had 4 levels on me because #game design apparently, but luckily he overstayed while being one bard's fart from death, and while this was a theme of me catching them with their pants down and benefiting, the pressure of what I can only assume was my jungler and top laner fighting in the chat that I muted instead of playing the game made it feel like the enemy team had more players on it that actually wanted to win than my team, and thus a game that I was legendary ended up being a loss, and after 3 wins before, this feeling was enough to deter me from wanting to queue up again. Let me know in the comments if you want to see Game 5, or if you want to see another tune on TBC, or maybe even you want to see my review of retail WoW. Hell, I'll even make a drama slop video at this point, but I need to hear from you what you want to see and I will make it. Brush them tarts tonight. Rav out.